Good morning. Myself, Vipin Kumar Gupta, working as an assistant professor, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. Today I will present ESDL third lecture. In previous lecture, we are seeing the basics of DSPLs. Now today, these are the reference books which are available. So today, what we are discussing in today lecture, we are discussing about the VSDL history. When the VSDL was discovered, what is the need of this VSDL? What is the main motto to develop a program in VHDL? What functions are used in this VSDL? How we will define that language? Last time we will also discuss about the multiplexer. We also discussed. So today we will take that multiplexer example. So last time we are discussing about the input and output entity declaration. Now that entity, which keyword we can use, that can be discussed in this identifiers and package declaration. So first of all, I will come for VHDL history. As we are discussing previously, VHDL means very high speed integrated circuit. Why we are called, as I already mentioned in the previous lectures, that the when speed is the main concern. When we are designing any circuits, speed is the main motto. Speed means whatever we are designing a circuit, if it take too much time, so it is useless. Suppose that I am sitting in a car, or I am preparing some food in the microwave. It will take too much time. Like it will take to boil our uh, hot the our food. It will take 1 hour. So it is too disgusting, or we cannot go for that process. Simply we can go for the gas. That means speed is the main concern. We need higher speed, not too much higher, but comparatively it is acceptable speed we can need. So speed is the main concern. So how we will calculate the speed? As I already mentioned that the latency is the word which can be calculate the speed. How we will calculate the speed? Latency means total time taken to start to end. We can define the speed. So that it will take the 4 cycle. Here in BSDL we are discussing about the clock cycle. Clock cycle means, suppose that we will in BSDL when we are doing the test range we are define the clock size. Clock size, it means what is the clock size of that? So clock size is the length of that clock. Suppose that its length is the 50 nanoseconds. So how many 50 nanoseconds clock it will take to complete that operation? That is the latency. So latency should be minimum. Integrated means number of components are fabricated on a single chip. So BSDL is a hardware description language, is the product of US government request for a new means of describing digital hardware. That language is developed by US government, by DoD, Department of Defense, for describing the digital hardware. Like C language, it will describe the software. We can design any program in C language. So we cannot implement that program into the hardware, but here we can design the hardware. The BHSIC program has an initiative of the Defense Department to push the state of the art in the VLSI technology, and BSDL was proposed as a versatile hardware description language. History of BHDL. As we all know, when we are developing any computer or any languages or anything, then starting to day to day, it will be updated. Same portion will be happen in this language. Like in 1971, first microprocessor was invented. After that, so many processor was invented. 1971, first microprocessor was invented. It is a 4-bit microprocessor. But after that, 8-bit, 16-bit, 20-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 128-bit processor are coming in the market. Why? Because it is the need. According to the need, it will develop. So the language were first generated in 1981 under the BHSIC program. That is the program that will be generated under this program. A number of US companies were involved in designing BHSIC chip for the Department of Defense. In July 1983, a team of Intermetrics, IBM, and Texas Instruments were awarded a contract to develop PSDL. In August 1985, the final version of the language under government contract was released, that is the PSDL 7.2. That is the first product that was delivered. Why? VSDL 7.2. So we can say 1985, the final first version of VSDL was delivered. In December 1987, VSDL became IEEE standard. IEEE standard, it will uses 10762 1987, and then after 1 year, ANSI standards it will use. In September 1993, VSDL was standardized to clarify and enhance the language. IEEE standard 10762 1993. VSDL has been accepted as a draft international standard by IEC, International Engineering Consortium. Actually, this is the show, the publication of first VSDL standard. It was 1983-7. Then the revised was 1993. Now we are coming for the general question: what is the need of that VSDL? So how do we, why we are use the HDL? Why why we go for VSDL? Why we go for HDL, hardware language? That is our main question. How do we use the VHDL? So how do we know that we have not made a mistake when we manually draw a systematic and connect component to the implement a function? Suppose that I want to design a circuit, simple circuit I want to design, that is having the number of components. I am designing using pencil manually. Then how much chances it is corrected? It is very less chances it is correct, because manually we are doing some mistakes. In connections we can do the mistakes. So suppose that I am doing one mistake, one connection is doing, I am wrong, then what happens? It cannot work properly, because the result will be changed, because I am doing connection is wrong. So when we are doing the hard HDL languages, the net list will become. So what happen? According to that diagram, it can be implemented. We can implement through PCB. Next question is the, why do we know that we have not made a mistake when we manually draw a systematic and connect component implement a function? By describing the design in a high level, easy to understand. There are the three languages are available: high level, machine level, and assembly level. So high level is the very easy language. So it is describing by a high level language. We can simulate our design before we manufacturing it. This is the beauty of this HDL language. So Suppose that I am designing a flip flop. What we are doing? First, I will write the code and then simulate. After simulation, we can test it is work properly according to our input. It is working. If yes, then we go for the designing hardware. So by describing the design in a high level language, we can simulate our design before we manufacture it. This allow us to catch design error. That is, that the design does not work as we thought it would. Simulation guarantees that the design behave as it should. Reason for using BSDL. What is the reason why we are use the BSDL? Anyone ask? Why we are go for that language? Why we are choosing BSDL language? So, what is the reason? Reason is that BSDL is a international IEEE standard, as we are seeing. It is having the 10762 18983 IEEE standard specification language. So, for describing a digital hardware used by industry worldwide. So, that is the first point. This is the international standard specification language. So, we can use the BSDL. BSDL enable hardware modeling from the gate to system level. BSDL provide a mechanism for digital design. It will provide a mechanism for digitally system design. Testing and validation using simulation. Suppose that I am writing a program, we can test this BSDL code. So testing and validation we can do. Performance pre-detection, automatic synthesis. Performance, how we will calculate the performance? We can see when we are simulating the code, then we can see how much time it will take. It will generate a synthesis report. Synthesis report is showing various parameters like LUT, performance, delay, everything it will show. So we can detect the performance, we can estimate the performance, we can pre-detect the performance, how much time it will take to complete the task. So it is a very useful tool. Automatic synthesis. Language support hierarchy, that is, a digital system can be modeled as a set of interconnected components. Each component in turn can be modeled as a set of interconnected subcomponents. Additional benefits of BHDL allow for various design methodologies. These are the additional. Top in VLSI, we are seeing the two methodologies, top to down and down to up. So these two methodology it can be used. BSD very flexible in its approach for describing hardware. Provide technology independence. BSDL is independent of any technology or process. However, BSDL code can be written and then targeted for many different technologies. Ability to run the same code in a variety of environments. BSDL code we can run also very long, so different environment we can run. Provide a flexible design language. It supports both synchronous and asynchronous timing model. Nowadays, what we see, most of the circuits are synchronous, and some of the circuits are asynchronous. We are not know when we are designing purpose. When we are go for designing, we don't know we are designing any circuit for universal purpose. It can be work any environment. It's my choice. Every developer has its choice to a develop a system that will be work on every environment. So synchronous and asynchronous, there are the two words. What is the meaning of synchronous? Synchronous means suppose that I am draw a circuit. I am draw a circuit. It is having the ALU, it is having the resistor, it is having the different ALU. I am seeing that the one ALU is taking the 20 nanoseconds time and one ALU is taking 10 nanoseconds time for complete its task. Then can we say it is the synchronous? No. Why? Because of one ALU can take 10 20 nanoseconds. There is need the different clock, and one is needed 20 nanoseconds. It is need the different clock. So clock cycle timing is different to each uh, each ALU. So we can say it is not asynchronous. So I will say that is the asynchronous. When all the component in microprocessor, when we are seeing what is the microprocessor? Microprocessor having the different component, ALU, interrupts, registers, many components are there. If all are getting same clock for performing the operation, then we can say it is the synchronous. So microprocessor is synchronous, and it can be interface is synchronous. So that is the beauty of this VSDL language, that it works, it supports both the synchronous and asynchronous. The language supports three basic different description styles. That is the structure, data flow, and behavior. Structures mean structural means when this is our choice. We are having the gates, we are having the component, we are having the truth table, what we are having. So in structural modeling, we think that we are having the logic gates. So using logic gate, we can design the code, then we can say this is the structural model. In last lecture, we also discussed about the structural modeling in multiplexer. Data flow. Also, we will discuss. We are using some component. Suppose that we are designing the full adder. So two half adder is sufficient. Three half adder we can use, and we can design the full adder. So data flow, we can, some component is already available in market. That component we can directly use. Behavior. According to their truth table, we can develop the PSDL code. A design may also be expressed in combination of these three descriptive styles. There is no need to learn a different language for simulation control. Test benches can be written using the same language to test other PSDL model. Hardware abstraction. PSDL is used to describe a model for digital hardware device. As in the first lecture, I am saying that language is used for the hardware designing. We are using for the hardware modeling also. So this language is used for the hardware devices. This model specifies the external view of the device and one or more internal view. The internal view of the device specifies the functionality or structure, while the external view specifies the interface of the device, through which it communicates with the other model in its environment. So this is the device. Various device model is there. Here, this is the first device, and this is the second device. This is the external view, and in that having the these three component. So the device to device model mapping is strictly a one to many. One device is connected to many of the components. That is, the hardware device may have a many device model. And VHDL Each device model is treated as a distinct representation of a unique device called an entity in this text. The entity is thus a hardware abstraction of a actual hardware device. Each entity is described using one model that contains one external view and one or more internal views. At the same time, a hardware device may be represented by one or more entities. That is the BSDL view of the device. There are the many entities which are connected to a device. Many devices is connected to a one device. Basic terminology. How we will design the BSDL program. As last lecture we also discussed. So now we will see entity declaration and architecture body we will discuss in the previous lecture. So a hardware abstraction of the digital system is called an entity in this text. An entity acts when used in another entity by become a component for the entity by. Suppose that in a half header we can design a half header. In half header we are having the two entities A and B. That entity, that half header we can use as an entity in the full header. So this is the by. So we can use. So therefore a component is also an entity, depending on the level at which you are trying to model. So we can in half header, first half header we can design. Half header, what is the half header we can design? There are the two entity, three entity like A, B, C and S. These are the entity. Now next, when we are designing the full header, that half header works as an entity. So to describe an entity, BSDL provides five different type of primary construct called design unit. Entity declaration, architecture body, configuration declaration, package declaration, package body. Entity. An entity is a model using an entity declaration and at least one architecture body. The entity declaration describes the external view of the entity. For example, the input and output signal names. The architecture body contains the internal description of the entity. Once an entity has been modeled, it needs to be validated by the BSDL system. A typical BSDL system consists of an analyzer and a simulator. Analyzer reads in one or more design units contained in a single file and compiles them into a design library after validating the syntax and performing some static semantic check. The design library is a place in the host environment, that is the environment that supports the BSDL system, where compiled design unit are stored. The simulator simulates an entity represented by an entity architecture pair or by a configuration by reading in its compiled description from the design library and then performing the following step: elaboration, initialization, and simulation. First, we will elaborate the system and then initialize the entity and then simulation. So, we will discuss one by one. These are the entity hardware abstraction of a digital system. Then we are doing the modeling and entity will be architecture body. We are interconnected of these entities. So like that we can write the program. As we are discussed already, entity declaration is specify the name of the entity being modeled and list the set of interface ports. Ports are the signal through which the entity communicates with the other model in its external environment. So now here the half header is described. So what is the entity of that half header? Here half header having the one XOR gate and one AND gate. XOR gate is used for the addition A XOR B. Addition we are doing the sum and AND operation generate the carry. How? Suppose that we are writing a table for half adder A, B, S, and C. S is the sum and C is the carry. Then when A and B are 0, 0, then what is the result? Sum is the 0 and no carry is generated. When A is 0 and B is equal to 1, then sum is 1, carry is 0. Because carry is not generated. 0 plus 1, it's 1. And carry is not generated. When 1 plus 0, then again 1 and carry is not generated. Because 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, output is 0. Because it's 10. So 0, sum is 10 and carry is generated. So only carry part will be when both the inputs are 1. So it means A dot B, and sum is 1 only on when both any of the input is 1. Only on any of the input is 1. So it will show the XOR gate. So these are the entity A, B, S, sum and carry. These are the entity or port. So entity half adder is the entity name. Port is using word keyword AB. AB is the in bit, whatever input we are providing. So these are the in bit. Sum and carry is the out bit. Now only these are entity available, so we can end the entity. So I will write the end half adder. 2 to 4 decoder we are writing. Decoder means suppose that two inputs are there and decoder decodes the inputs according to the inputs. 0, 0 then Z naught is selected. 0, 1 that means Z1 is selected. 1, 0 it means Z2 is selected. 1, 1 it means Z3 is selected. So entity of decoder will be writing like that entity decoder 2 to 4. Decoder 2 to 4 is the entity name. Port A, B, enable. Enable signal is also connected to the AND gate. When enable signal is 1, because NAND gate we are using, that's why it is the 0. Enable is equal to 0. So enable is the in bit and Z is the output. This is the 0 to 3. Now I will close the entity architecture body. The internal detail of an entity are specified by an architecture body using any of the following modeling style. A set of interconnected components to represent structure. As a set of concurrent assignment statement to represent data flow. As a set of sequential assignment statement to represent APL. Any combination of above behavior, data flow, and structure. There are the three types of modeling are available. So, a set of interconnected of components, that is the meaning of logic gate. When we are using the logic gate, then the set of logic gates we can use. So that means the structure modeling. When concurrent assignment statements we can use, then it means the data flow. When the sequential assignment, like using the truth table we can use, then it can say it is the behavior modeling. And when above behavior structure data flow, when we can use any of the combinations also. Configuration declaration. Configuration declaration is used to select one of the possible many architecture body that an entity may have end-to-point of component used to represent the structure in that architecture body. Two entities represented by an entity architecture pair or by a configuration that reside in design language. Now this is the important package declaration. Package declaration is used to store a set of common declaration like component, type, procedure, and function. So it will commonly, it is having the component, type of that component, it may be integer, procedure, which procedure it can be used. So these declaration can be then be imported into other design unit using a context clause package body. A package body is a primarily used to store the definition of functions and procedure that were declared in the corresponding package. Declaration and also the complete constant declaration for any default constants that appear in the package declaration. Therefore, a package is always associated with a package declaration. Furthermore, a package declaration can have at most one package body associated with it. Identifier. An identifier which in BSDL is composed of a sequence of one and more characters. It is a legal character is an uppercase letter A to Z you can use, or lower character case letter A to Z, or digit 0 to 9, or underscore you can use as an identifier. The first character in an identifier must be a letter, and the last character may not be a underscore. Lowercase and uppercase letter are considered to be identical when used in an identifier. As an example, count, count, and count all refer to the same identifier. Actually, where we are using when we are writing a BSDL program, then we are writing the entity name, we are writing the architecture name. So, in that time, at that time, we can write the some word that is the identifier we can use. So, these identifiers are using in the program. Comments in the description must be proceed by the two consecutive hyphens. The comments extend to the end of the line. Example are, suppose that I am writing one program. During one program, I am thinking that I will be write uh, some comment between the program. So I will write the two conjugative hyphens and then write our statement. What is the actually meaning? What is the that statement is saying? So this is the meaning of that comment. Examples are, this is a comment, it end at the end of this line. To continue comment onto a second line is separate. Comment line must be started. Reserved word. Reserved word means we cannot use that word as an identifier, like architecture. Here we are using the architecture. In architecture, when we are writing the architecture body, then first word is the architecture. So we cannot use these architecture word. Begin. After the when the architecture body was started, then begin keyword we are using. So we cannot use this begin word. Loop, library. It defines the library. So we cannot use functions, generator, generic, guarded, if it is used for the loop, in out, in, these are used for the entity declaration, is level, library linkage, loop map, mode, NAND. NAND is used for the logic gate purpose. New, next, nor, not, null, off, in, open. These are the some keywords which we cannot use during the program, because these keywords we can use for some specific meaning down to this is used for the array purpose. So we cannot use during the program. Data object. Data object hold a value of specified types. It is created by means of an object declaration. An example is the variable count integer. This result in the creation of a data object called count, which can hold integer value. Here we can define the variable, that is the count. It is the integer type. So that is defined. That is defined. The object count is also declared to be of variable class. Every data object belongs to one two of the following three classes. Constant. An object of constant class can hold a single value of given type. This value is assigned to the object before simulation starts, and the value cannot be changed during the course of the simulation. Suppose that I am writing the program. I will define a is equal to 20. That means we can define a constant value. A value will be 20. We cannot change during the program. So this is the constant variable. An object of variable class can also hold a single value of a given type. However, in this case, different value can be assigned to the subject at different time using a variable assignment string. In constant, we cannot change, but variable, we can change the value during the program. Signal. An object belonging to the signal class has a past history of value, a current value, and a set of future value. Future value can be assigned to a single object using a single assignment string. Single object can be regarded as wires in a circuit, while variable and constant objects are analogous to their counterparts in a high-level programming. Languages like C, Pascal, signal objects are typically used to model wire and flip-flop, while variable and constant objects are typically used to model the behavior of the circuits. So the object declaration is used to declare an object, its type, its class, assign its a value. Constant declaration. These are the example. Suppose that I will define a constant. Constant, we will define a constant value. So how we will define the constant? Constant rise time. This statement is used for the test range where we are defining the rise time of that clock. It is the 10 nanoseconds. So constantly we can define that constant value. Bus width, integer 8. We also define. The first declaration declared the object rise time that can hold the value of type time A. We define type in the language, and the value assigned to the object at the start of simulation is 10 nanoseconds. The second constant declaration declares a constant bus width of type integer with a value of 8. An example of another form of constant declaration is constant number underscore of underscore input. That is the syntax to defining the constant. The value of the constant has not been specified in this case. Such a constant is called a deferred constant, and it can appear only inside a package declaration. The complete constant declaration with the associated value must appear in the corresponding package word. So the variable declaration, how we will declare the variable? Here are the some examples are given, like variable sum, integer range 0 to 100 and 10 is equal to 10. So we can define integer value, it can changes during the program. The first declaration is specify variable object CTRL status as an array of second element with each array element of type bit. In the second declaration, an explicit initial value has been assigned to the variable sum. When simulation starts, sum will be an initial value is 10. If the number of initial values is specified for the variable object, the default value is used as an initial value. In the third declaration, In the third one, the initial value assigned to found and done at the start of the simulation. If false, false is the leftmost value of the predefined type boolean. The initial value for all array elements of the CTRL underscore status 0. So here it is the types of variable defined. Signal declaration. Here are some signal declaration. Signal clock is gate. That means clock we are putting the 0101 format. Data bus. Here we are using the data bus. It is the vector type 0 to 7. It means it is having the 8-bit data. Signal gate delay. It denote the integer value. Gate delay 10 nanoseconds after the gate is having the 10 nanoseconds. Interpretation of the signal declaration is very similar to that of variable declaration. The first signal declaration declares the signal object clock of type bit and gives it an initial value of 0, 0 being the leftmost value of type bit. The third signal declaration declares a signal object get declare of type time that has an initial value of 10 nanoseconds. Every data object in VSDL can hold a value that belongs to a seat of value. This seat of value is specified by using a type declaration. Type is a name that has associated with it a set of value and a set of operations. Certain type and operation that can be performed on object of this type are predefined in the language. For example, integer is a predefined type with the set of value being integer in a specified range provided by the PSDL system. The minimum range that must be provided is minus 2 raised to 31 minus 1 to plus 2 raised to 31 minus 1. So these are the variable. So we can use the language or also provide the facility to define new type using type declaration and also define a set of operation on this type by writing function that return value of a new type. All the possible types that can exist in the language can be categorized into the following major categories: scalar type, composite type, access type, and file type. Scalar type values belongs to these type appear in a sequential order. Composite type, there are composed of element of a single type or element of different type. Access type, these provide access to digital object of a given type. File type, these provide access to a object that contain a sequence of values of a given type. So next lecture we will discuss the subtypes. So now I will come to the reference books. Now I will come to the quiz. After that we can go for the reference book. The correct syntax for using the exit is the correct answer for that purpose. Syntax. For loop uses a loop index. The type of loop index is the integer. We can use the integer. Where do we declare the loop index of for loop? That is the doesn't have to be declared. For loop we cannot declare. For loop is inside while loop. Inside the for loop, the exit statement is used such a way that after 4 iterations it will execute after the execution of exit statement. The control will be passed outside the for loop. What is the use of exit statement in a loop? For ending the loop. On what side the assignment statement one can use the loop index? Right. The for loop is not synthesized if the content is bit string. Now these are the reference book which is available primer VSDL primer book having the that is written by the Vice Bhaskar. It is having all the variable, integer, everything will be defined into it. And second one is the also introduction to digital system by E. That is also, these are the some books which are available in market, and all things are covered. That Bhaskar is the covered all things, and some basic program also given in that book. So these are the NPTEL lecture links which we can see. Thank you all. So we can discuss one by one in these reference book, whatever you need. That book is available in market. These are the 8 books. I think all things are sufficient. First one book is sufficient for covering all the things. Today lecture is also covered that book, so you can go that books also. Now I will thank you, thank you all. I will close today lecture, and next lecture we will see how we'll write the program and subsystems also we will discuss in next lecture. So thank you all.